Oh, hello, all you market traders and profit takers. This is your Forex University professor at yourforexuniversity.com. We're going to take a look and review and forecast the end of the week of October 24th of 2014. We're going to dive right in. First of all, we're going to take a look at the record here that took place over the week. Overall, the pound gave us some expense to pay, which of 31 pips. Not a bad deal when overall everybody else, all the other pairs were tight and strong. Ended the week with a 645 pip gain. That's a good thing. Every day this week turned out to be a gain as opposed to a couple of times from last week when we had a few moments. And this is to be expected when you're in consolidation. You're going to have some days where it's going to get a little tight. You're going to pay some expenses here and there. Here you go. We're looking at the weekly chart on the Aussie. And again, just kind of like what I said a few weeks ago when we hit that double bottom at the GAN level down here around this 86.59 and started bouncing back off of it. I saw that, it looks just like what's turning out. It's starting to it's been in consolidation for the last couple of weeks. On the shorter term, such as your 4-hour chart, you can see that very well. And even still with the weekly chart, you can see that price has pretty much been kept inside the range between these two GAN levels at this point. Inside bar, and here, not much of an inside bar, but really definitely got that inside bar going on right here. This is somewhat of a rammy situation we've got going on. The body is above the last week's body, which is a somewhat of a bullish sign, but we'll have to wait and see how the weekend's out. Because look, pay attention to this. Notice that as the price would climb, reaching this GAN level here, we were meeting the trend channel that was coming down on us really strong, really hard, real straight, and it met it, and it's been pushing on it, keeping it down. And it's so we'll have to wait and see what happens this week. If we can get this week to close above that trend channel, okay, we can get above this trend channel and get a close above that. That would be very bullish and helpful, but not to get too antsy right away. First of all, you've got to breach that high, and second of all, you're still going to have to deal with the possibilities of a retracement of it reaching a resistance level somewhere, like maybe this GAN level, and then having to retrace to some type of Fibonacci level, either a 382 or 618. Probably not a 382. Then again, I could be wrong. I would probably be leaning more towards the 618 because it's a new move coming back off of some rather strong moves that were taking us down here, So, and it also limits your risk a lot better at that 618. But anyway, we're consolidating. We're going to keep our eye on our quick view and on our 4-hour charts. And let me run to the 4-hour chart on the Aussie real quick for you. And there. Let me zoom so you get a more view. See, look at the consolidation. It's just straight across, flatlining. We've got the highs up here, lows down here, and it's just kind of wiggling away, going sideways. At this point, right now, going into next week, we do have a slight bullish push that's taking place here. But when you're in consolidation, that bullishness is generally just saying, look, we're at the top of this range. So if anything, if you're talking about being long, you might want to consider things like these crosses here and here, which are teaming up with a line here of a linear bias low that's right here at 87.49. Also, that's roughly in the area of one of your Fibonacci retracements that would be based off of the move that broke the trend line here. So if you're looking long, this isn't a bad place. Even when you look back historically, you'll see where there's been reaction to this price point here, 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 all through here, here, and here. Here, I'll show you. I'll give it to you. Give you a little help. There, reactions. Okay, we've got reactions. See that? These are all reactions that took place. And here, as it pushed it down, here it stopped for a minute, but it pushed through. Here it came below it, came back, touched it, dropped. These are things that you want to look at, and it's right near this area of you've got the crossing of these trend lines and these trend lines, and plus we have the quick view level right in here on the linear bias low. So if you are going to go long, that's not a bad place to go, and then you put your stop up under this candle here, and see how that would work out for our trade coming up on Monday. Of course, by Tuesday, we may be looking at something altogether different. All right, let's move on to the euro. We need to get back to our weekly charts here. All right, and again, more consolidation. We've got a value area that's rejecting the price. It's also meandering between two Gann levels, just as the Aussie. It's overall right now on this weekly chart, it is showing it's still in bearish territory, even though we've gotten a little bit of move to the upside for a moment. If you look at it on the 4-hour chart, you can see that it's definitely still bearish. There's really nothing that's, well, you know what? There is a slight possibility of bullishness happening from this candle breaking the trend channel with a close above it and breaking the high. Has not broken back below this low. It's done it again here at the end of the week, even though it's coming back. So what do you want to do? Well, let's put in a quick little move like this for a trend and give ourselves a Fibonacci against the high. We'll use the latest and the low and the retracement back to somewhere around here at the 382 at 126.40, or even as low as the 126.28. However, this is the only problem. It's already touched them because this was the first one that took place, and it already came back to the 618. Oh, wait a minute, this is upside down. No wonder. Let me start over. All right. There you go. Yeah, it's already from the point that it broke here. It came back and touched the 618 already, which is roughly about the same as right here. In a sense of with this consolidated pushing of slight area going to the forward, we could consider trying it again. It might double bounce off of a 618, but I'm cautious. Very cautious. I'd be willing to play with this trend line, but I get a close below this trend line. Guess what? I'm stopping out underneath that low. All right. On the pound, there's a slight, looked like we might have had a little more bullishness coming out of the pound with this tweezer bottom here, and the dragonfly push up, and then we've got the spinning top here following. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little better. There we go. And now we've got this, but it's bearish because as with what we saw here on the weekly chart with the euro and the Aussie, we've got this pressure coming down from the trend channels. Here we've got the trend channels and the trend line putting pressure, downward pressure. So we might see things go back to the down. This could simply turn out to be a correction to some more downward movement. We are looking at the possibility this week, if we could get a close above this trend line and breach it the following after that, then we could look at bullish territory. We also have these value areas that are from previous areas that it's playing between. Notice the rejection that took place from this value area and pushed it back up. Now it's in this value area and it's pushing it back down. Consolidation, classic consolidation all across the board here with these pairs from the Aussie, Euro, and the Pound, and even with the Kiwi. Oh, wow, look at the Kiwi. It looks almost like the Euro. Look at the Euro, and now look at the Kiwi. Interesting. Very similar. Let me get that out the way. Very, very similar. Very, very similar. We need to readjust this trend line, however, to right about there. Let me make sure I don't need to do it there, or well, I could do it here. Let me readjust this to right here. All right, and now let's move on to the dollar and the CAD. Well, it's still bullish, it's moving forward, but notice how it's inside this value area that's here on this weekly chart, and we're being rejected at the top of it again. Notice how it rejected this price area right here. It's at the top of this value area, rejected. So now, what we, again, just as with the other pairs, we need to watch and make sure and see what happens this week if we get it close below this running line and breach that low. But we've also got this running line. This running line, if you break it, it could just simply correct and come back. It could hit this GAN line level here around the 110.71 at the right place, right in meeting in with the trend channel and take off, you know. Could crash and close below this one as well this week. We don't, obviously we don't have a crystal ball, but as far as our analysis is concerned, it's still in a slightly bullishness of territory because we keep bouncing back every time we get down near this, the trend channels and the trend lines. So we just have to keep a close eye on our quick view and see where we go with that. And same thing is happening now with the franc. The franc has come down, made a retracement, and it's on its way back. It was this GAN level at the 94.10 has supported it along with the trend channel and the trend line. No closes below the trend channel or the trend lines. So we can treat this as somewhat as a retracement, and we can also look and see that it's strong retracement at 25. It might come back to the 382, especially if it waits until it can meet up with this trend line here. That'll be a strong area of support. The yen, we're moving back to the upside right now. Last week was a bullish move after rejecting these lows here at the 50% Fibonacci, as well as meeting it with the GAN level of 110.54. We're also very close to the area here that we had since the beginning of the year of this value area that held price for most of the year in between it, as we can recall. Most of the week on the yen, we just stayed between here and between these two value areas until finally we broke out. And it came back, revisited, got close, because you can see here where this high here was, it's met it, and it's pushed back to the upside. At this point, it's still in a long bullish sentiment. So there we're looking at, that's what we're looking at for our dollar pairs, and we'll see how all of this plays out next week, because it will happen, and we'll see how well the professor did in terms of analyzing what is going on these charts here with the pairs, the US dollar pairs. Until then, I do hope all of your trading is successful and profitable. I am your FOREX University professor at yourforexuniversity.com, wishing you all the best in your trading. I'll see you next week.